Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Education for Battle Creek Public Schools. Today is Monday, May 18th, 2026. It is 5:30 p.m. and I am calling this meeting to order. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Alicia Hayden. Here. Kate Flores.
Here.
Art McClooney.
Here.
Dr. Alicia Johnson.
Here.
Dr. Graycheck. Dr. McCall Perry. Charlie Fulbright.
Here. Thank you. As a reminder, tonight's meeting is being interpreted in Spanish thanks to our partners at Voces Battle Creek. To listen in Spanish, please refer to the description on our YouTube live channel for the stream and the link. To our board members and other speakers, please remember to speak clearly and not too quickly so that our interpreters are able to keep up. I will now entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda. Any consideration of additions or deletions?
President, I would like to make a motion to amend under 4B to remove the April 13th Policy Committee meeting and replace that and add on the facilities meeting for April 14th.
Is there any support?
Support.
It's been moved by Trustee Hayden, supported by Trustee Johnson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say yes. Yes. All opposed say no. Motion passes. The BCPS Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the community to express themselves on district matters. We have two opportunities tonight on our agenda for public comment. The Board of Education requests that you fill out a public participation form with contact information. As you come up to the podium, please state your name. Each statement made by a speaker shall be limited to a 3-minute duration, and if the speaker represents a group, the person will be given 5 minutes to speak. BCPS Board of Education will listen, take comments and questions under advisement, but not respond at this time. Public commenters will direct all comments to the Board of Education and not to staff or other participants. Do we have any public comments? Thank you. Moving on, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items. A, trust fund. B, minutes of the work session. The regular meeting on April 27th. The facilities meeting on April 14th. C, the bills for the month of April. D, personnel changes and recognition of retirees. E, membership report. F, hearing report. G, finance report. H, proposed calendar of meeting 2026-2027 school year. I, May 2026 cybersecurity platform. J, food service contract. And K, system change.
President Fulbright,
Yes, Trustee Flores?
I move for the approval of the consent agenda.
Any support?
Support.
It's been moved by Trustee Flores, supported by Trustee Johnson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say yes. Yes. All opposed say no. Motion passes. Moving on to 5, student recognition, music, Valley View.
Today I'm here to present our Student of the Month for Valley View's music. I have chosen Tienen. He has been doing a phenomenal job in music. We are learning how to sing in 4 different languages right now, and he picked it up right away. So he is doing an amazing job. I just want to say I'm so proud of him. So I got you a certificate, a sticker, pencil, and your very own waiver.
All right.
Can we take a picture with all you and President Fulbright and Dr. Carter? You want to play us a song too?
Awesome. Come on over. We're going to take a picture with you so we can celebrate you. There you go.
Thank you.
Well
Good job,
done.
buddy.
That was only the one student today? Yes.
Moving on to staff recognition. Whatever it takes award, Dr. Carter.
Yes, this is my favorite favorite part of the board meeting each month, where we get to recognize some outstanding individuals. First, I want to talk about an amazing team at Battle Creek Central. Collectively, this team represents the very best of student-centered support, servant leadership, and unwavering commitment. Every day, they go far beyond the expectations of their roles to ensure that students, especially some of our most vulnerable and historically marginalized learners, have the encouragement, advocacy, and support they need to succeed at Battle Creek Central High School. They truly are a dream team that we have in this group of paraprofessionals. What sets this team apart is their deep commitment to relationships. They know their students not just by name, but by need, by strength, and by story. They take the time to understand each student's academic challenges, emotional triggers, and personal goals, creating trust and stability for students who often need it most. Their impact is felt across the entire building. They support students in every content area, work closely with teachers to ensure accommodations and interventions are in place, and provide everything from academic help to emotional coaching and behavior support. Whether helping a student regulate during a difficult moment or simply offering reassurance, they do whatever it takes, whatever is needed to keep students engaged and connected to school. More than anything, this team shows up day after day, year after year. They build lasting relationships, celebrate victories, support students through setbacks, and help young people build confidence, resilience, and self-belief. At BCCHS, we often talk about equity, belonging, and making sure every student has access to success. This paraprofessional team brings those values to life every single day. Please join me in celebrating the Battle Creek Central paraprofessional team. Specifically, if you will come forward and stand in the front so we can appreciate and acknowledge you. Hari Johnson, Michael Fisk, Jermaine Morris, Cole, Al Williams, Jacob Horn, Pedro Sabata, and Whatever It Takes award winners. Can we give them a round of applause? Yes, there.
Well, they're in order of how you call them.
Okay. Todd's not here. Okay.
Michael Fisk.
Deanna. Yeah. Jacob. Down there at the
Johnson.
end. There we go. I have Jermaine.
Al Williams.
There you go.
Al Williams.
There he
Congratulations.
is. And Pedro. Congratulations. All right, we need
That's a deer shark, can you like get in here?
Come on,
my,
No. How's that?
Alright, perfect. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you, John.
And we're not stopping there. We have some more recognition and acknowledgement today. Next up, it is my honor to recognize two individuals who reflect 4 nominations, highlighting the incredible leadership, flexibility, and compassion they demonstrate during a challenging time for a 5th grade team. When the school lost a 5th grade teacher, these individuals stepped up without hesitation. They opened their classrooms, increased their class sizes, some days serving nearly 40 students, and they welcomed each and every one of them into their learning environments with grace and professionalism. Despite the added stress and responsibility, they remained focused on what mattered most, making sure every student felt safe, supported, and successful. Their willingness to adapt ensured that learning never stopped. They maintained high expectations, delivered quality instruction, and created stability for students during a critical time. As a result, student behavior significantly improved, and students who were not originally in their classrooms found consistency, structure, and belonging. Beyond academics, they have modeled kindness, teamwork, and resilience for the entire school community. Families saw that their children were being cared for, staff felt the strength of true collaboration, and students witnessed adults leading with compassion and accountability. Their actions created a positive ripple effect that strengthened school culture across the building. Even while managing increased workloads and daily challenges, both teachers continued building strong relationships with students and creating classrooms where everyone felt welcome and valued. Their dedication reflects the very best of what it means to do whatever it takes. Please join me in celebrating Ms. Nicole Darling and Ms. Belinda Bernard. Oh, I did that backwards. There you go. There you go. No, they're the same.
Perfect.
Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. All right, let's go and do a picture.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, we are going to be moving on to discussion. A, revised policy 5209, student use of cell phone and electronic devices. Dr. Cheeks. Just left. Hello.
Perfect, like, right on cue.
Right on cue.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Just a little discombobulated this evening, sorry. So we are looking at policy in section 505209, student cell phone use and electronic communication devices. So for tonight's reading, the policy reads as follows. Students may not use cell phones or other electronic devices during school hours. Cell phones or other electronic devices must be stored in the student's locker during school hours if a student chooses to bring them to schools. Students are personally and solely responsible for the security of their cell phones and other electronic devices. The district is not responsible for theft, loss, or damage of any cell phone or other electronic device. Taking, disseminating, transferring, and sharing obscene, pornographic, lewd, or otherwise illegal photographs, video, audio, or other similar data, whether by electronic data transfer or otherwise, including via cell phone, or other electronic device, may constitute a crime under state and federal law. A student engaged in any of these activities at school, at a school event, or on school-provided transportation may be subject to discipline pursuant to the policy and the student code of conduct. A student engaged in any of these activities outside of school may be disciplined if the student's activities substantially disrupt or negatively affect the school's environment. School administrators and teachers may confiscate a student's cell phone or other electronic device if the student's use or possession of a cell phone or electronic device violates this policy, the student code of conduct, or any other applicable building or classroom rule. The building principal or designee may require a meeting with the student's parents to discuss the rule violation before returning the cell phone or other electronic device. Students who violate this policy are subject to corrective or disciplinary action consistent with this policy and the student code of conduct.
Are there any questions or comments from Dr. Cheeks?
I would appreciate some, especially also for the public, to be able to understand, why this is being talked about and what is being requested. Could you share more about the background of why this is coming to us? What are the changes to the policy that are being proposed, and what's the rationale for those changes?
So a change that's being proposed within this policy, probably one of the largest ones, is that the electronic devices may not be used on school property. So that's different from not being able to use it at all to not being able to use it during lunchtime, passing times, and things like that. So this policy is stating that there's no use of cell phones or other electronic devices within the school building at all. And so disruption, as well as loss of instructional time are some of the reasons why this policy is coming forward the way it is right now.
And the law change.
I was just gonna say.
State law. Thank you. That's the biggest part, right?
State law.
Can you say more about that though, just in case people don't know what the state law will change?
I don't have the language on.
Well, not the language exactly, but basically the state is now requiring that districts have to make policies around phones.
Around cell phone policies in use. And so our district received sample policies from Tienen Law Firm, which is who we utilize for our development of each of our policies. And the options that we're presenting tonight are those that were recommended from Tienen Law Firm.
Can I add? So Michigan state law requires that public and charter school districts ban the use of wireless communication devices, including smartphones, on school grounds during instructional time. It was signed into law February of 2026, and the mandate is designed to minimize digital distractions and improve student focus. So as a result of that law, Battle Creek Public Schools is now updating their policy to make sure that we are in line with the new state requirements.
Thank you.
I just wanted to be clear, the other devices, including glasses, right?
Glasses, any type of device that could be communicated. So it could be a smartwatch, it could be those meta frames. So yes, any electronic device that would have a communication component to it.
Excluding assistive.
Excluding assisted devices that are in a student's IEP or 504, yes.
On that part of exemptions, my understanding from the law is there's a specific set of exemptions that are required to be mentioned in the policy, but I don't see them listed there. Maybe I'm wrong, I am not a lawyer, but I'm wondering if, staff knows anything more about that.
Yeah, so this was written by our school attorneys. There are some exemptions, and that is handled through the process of implementation. And so our policy is broad enough to cover the law, and then the practical application of it will be around what's included in someone's 504 or IEP. So outside of that, all devices are not included. That's what this policy is saying.
Okay, so our lawyers say that those exemptions are in protocol and planning and implementation documents. They don't actually have to be written into the actual policy. Okay. My understanding is at the same time that this was changed, that there also was a complementary bill that addressed emergency planning and some type of requirement around that. Is that I do my homework sometimes. is that a piece?
So what it requires is that in our emergency operations plan, we have some sort of mention that students have access to their cell phones. And so that will be updated in our EOP. But it does not have to be in this policy.
Any other questions or comments for Dr. Cheeks?
Oh, I have more questions. I just don't want to, and if anyone else has any questions. I am wondering as well if you can talk more about how, my understanding as well is that the stance that we're taking is beyond what the legislature has required, which is a focus on instructional time. And we are making, the recommendation coming to us is that it's, all time and bell to bell, must be in the lockers, which is, again, beyond the law. But I would like to know, how, like, what's the rationale beyond that choice to move beyond what is being required? What is our experience in schools, and what have we done to hear different perspectives on this issue?
So as a result of our conversations with the policy committee, we determined that as a committee that it was in the best interest of our students not to have to fight for certain times of the day, that when you can't have it, we're just saying bell to bell, which was an option under the law, right? Which will also make it easier on our staff to not have to manage different times of the school day that they have to have their cell phone. The other request from the committee was that we have conversations with both teachers union as well as the administration, and so we did that via the listening tour and feedback from both. We have full support. The question is that the only concern was, the number one concern was consistency in the implementation among themselves. Nothing about us, but more if one colleague doesn't do it and another colleague does, how will administration support consistency of the implementation and the following of this expectation? That was the only concern brought up. But very, very happy that this is something that's happening in support for them.
And that's helpful. I was wondering about it in union involvement or other things, if there is any type of documentation of any of those conversations. And maybe some of this is in the policy committee minutes that we weren't yet provided, and maybe that's where, again, there's additional context I'm not clear on, but that would be helpful as well.
They did not request any written feedback, and so it's just first, please check in to make sure, and so we did that as a part of our listening tour. So.
And did the listening tour also include families and students?
Not families and students, no.
Are there any potential areas of pushback that we should, in terms of especially families, parents, of what are common concerns? I imagine one is going to be around emergencies.
So our response to that, through our conversations, there are phones in every single classroom in Battle Creek Public Schools. So they should not have problems having access. We do not need electronic devices.
If I might add, from a colleague, I served on that committee, that's pretty much was our conversation. Also, I had brought up several other districts that I've talked to are pretty much going to this policy. I thought, trying to decide, here's the time for a student to have a phone, this time they shouldn't have a phone, create more confrontation. I can imagine, let's say it was lunchtime. Okay, you can use your phone. Okay, turn the phone back in. I could see the confrontation that's going to develop with staff students or either other students sharing this, just asking for more problems. So this was the policy that we talked about, and I think it's best for our students. There is some documentation stating that it shows improvement. So I would only ask that we I would like to know, I'm sure others, when we implement this, that we see what's the change is going to be. That would be nice and put back out, especially the parents are going to push back, because they are.
I'm also on that committee, and we went back and forth about which we want to be the least restrictive, the most restrictive, and having some discussions about even an implementation. And we did talk about wanting to make sure that we got perspective from students and teachers. But I will say, for me personally, I really wanted to hear from teachers. I really wanted to know what is it, not just from what I feel as a parent or as a community member. We hear a lot from our teachers about the struggles in competing for attention, and I wanted to choose whatever they supported. So, and yes, the student perspective matters, but I do think we need to also understand that the student perspective may be the least restrictive for good reason to them, right? Why it benefits them. And sometimes we might have to make decisions that benefit their education over their leisure, so.
Additional content.
Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to reports and recommendations. A, tentative agreement between BCPS and Battle Creek Education Secretaries. Dr. Henry.
That's how important you are, son. I didn't know it was that loud.
Good evening.
Good evening, Board of Education. I rise to report that on April 29th, the district's negotiation team signed a tentative agreement with the Battle Creek Education Secretary Unit. This agreement had a wage and insurance opener for 26-27. This agreement was later ratified by the BCES unit. Outlined in your board packet are the following wage increases. Previously, administrative secretaries in year 1 and 2 made $19.51 an hour. Program facility secretaries in years 1 and 2 made $18.94 an hour. So we did collapse both of those salaries into one salary schedule, and they will receive, per your approval, in years 1 and 2, $23.48 an hour for years 1 and 2, and if they have 3+ years, $24.84 an hour. We are pleased to report that these new rates exceed those of our neighboring districts and make the district more competitive in recruiting and retaining secretaries. At this time, we recommend your approval. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to B, the nursing contract. Dr. J.
Hi, everybody. So I've actually got the next three, so I'm going to tie them all in kind of together and then get to the nurses here in a second. You were all given the budget information on paper. Apologize that didn't come through in the board packet. The proposed end budget is on, that's the proposed final. It's all on one, it's all combined on the documents. Trying to save money on paper.
And color.
Yeah, and color. And then the proposed budget for next year is on that last line, as you'll see. This year, we're still proposed to land even, but next year, you'll notice that we are missing the 200 kids. We had a $2 million drop. So we had to be creative on where that money came from. One of the big things when you look is a decrease in WKKF funds, and that's why I was waiting to the nurses. The nurses were one of those things covered under the WKKF fund. That request is to keep them in the schools and to use the fund balance to fund that one time. I cannot stress enough, fund balance is just for a one-time use and not for anything ongoing. We cannot use fund balance for anything. So I was going to sign the contract and use the fund balance to pay for them for 1 year next year to allow us to continue to have nurses in our schools. So that's how that all ties together, because they were, we are in year 8 of 10 in our WKKF grant funds. So we've decreased drastically. On top of that $2 million drop from losing 200 kids.
Any questions on the nursing contract?
Thank you. Okay, so that one-time 400,000, I'm assuming, obviously, there's a really important service there.
Yes, so they actually help our kids get back to class even sooner, when instead of leaving to go see a doctor or leaving, they get licensed healthcare in the class or in the school and then go back to class right away.
You know, so it's clear to me the value and the importance of being able to continue that. I guess that is what next? After that 1 year, is that also about buying us time to try to find additional
Yes.
funding?
Very much.
Okay.
Very much so.
Yes.
We are gonna start looking for, Dr. Carter's reached out to, like Bronson. I've reached out to 6 different medical, facilities to see if they can help us. We're trying to find other avenues. This is that Band-Aid, if you will, until we can find a more permanent solution.
Any other questions about the nursing contract? Thank you. You're next.
Well, that's what I covered at the first part. If you guys have any questions on those
Gotcha.
numbers, please let me know. The big thing that you'll see on there is an increase in our local sources for this next proposal. That is income tax, or the revenue for taxes. So that's your property taxes that are going up. You're welcome. So if you didn't know that, they are going up. That's why you see that. Everything else has worked its way down. But that is why you see that is property taxes and stuff are going up. Go ahead.
So the
Shoot.
So the decrease in enrollment,
Yes,
is
ma'am.
that the 200 kids, is that what's projected, or is that?
No, ma'am, that happened.
Okay.
We lost them. But it takes a while for that to catch up on the money
Okay.
in the state side. So that's why we're not seeing it right away.
Okay.
We'll see it next year and not this year. Because it takes a hot minute for us to see that.
My just question is if you can remind me the drop, from the 76 to the 62, that's federal sources that dropped. Can you remind me what that was? In the 2025 to this year?
Oh, that's like the 2025?
Yeah, what's under the final 6/23/2025 column, our total revenue is 76. Yeah, basically, why did we go from here to there?
Oh, that was ESSER funds and another drop. There's ESSER funds, there's a whole bunch of other grant funding that dropped.
That's federal grant.
Federal
And what-
funds, there's a
and
couple
what
local
was that
ones.
covering? What was that?
Buildings, stuff like that, so repairs. Most of that was there.
A lot of technology purchases that we had. It was a variety of, so ESSER was almost 20 million.
I mean, that's why I'm asking, because it's a huge drop, so.
Yeah.
But it dropped over years, so that was probably the final expenditures of what we had left. And it was HVAC upgrades.
Okay,
We did the boilers, we did a lot of the boilers with that money, stuff like that.
great, thank you.
Yep. We got air conditioning now in all of our buildings, and that was the final leg of it.
It's just not on in this room.
I do have another question.
No, we've run out of questions. Go ahead.
The adult continuing education, also from the final to the proposed final, 286,000 up to 402.
We're getting more money for reimbursements.
Grant money, and we are the sole provider.
Correct.
In this area for adult education services.
Speaking of actually changes, also, the OEC had a 200,000 drop from one year to the next.
The OAC is, we're seeing a drop in use of that, so we're working out creative ways to reinvent that location, to market, possibly have cast Jose, stuff like that, helping me increase things like that.
What's getting cut? Like, are there particular services, staffing, what's getting cut?
What are we cutting? There's nothing getting cut. It's actually just people not going out there as much as they used to. So we have schools that just aren't going out there like they used to because bus travels went up and all of these other outside things have happened. So they're just not using it as much as they used to.
I think it's also important to note that the outdoor education center is a business, so the drop is normally gonna be that your revenue is not coming in as
Okay.
much.
Right.
Thank you.
all of those supplementals that you'll see on there, those are their own businesses. So when you're seeing that, that's not part of our general fund, those aren't supposed to hit those things. So when you're looking at those things, they're their own world and we address them as such. You're very welcome.
Now, make sure we all know the numbers. That's the most important board member responsibility. So please ask questions where things don't seem as clear. I think the highlight is that we continue to be well above the board's recommendation of a 10%, 8% fund balance. So we're continuing to do that. And we, despite having a decrease in enrollment, have limited reductions in staff. There will be some, but those are mainly because of just different grant funding moves. But no teacher layoffs coming forward to think about, so.
None. Most of what you'll see is from, like Dr. Carter said, like WKKF positions that were written into that grant. Those will have to expire, things like that, but you will not see a ton of general fund cuts. We finagled other ways and did things to ensure there was no real effect to the kids in the district.
Kept our cuts away from the classroom to the best of our ability. And as you will see, there's no recommendation to increase class sizes. We're continuing to source ways that we can keep our class sizes low. So we're pretty proud of the budget that's being presented in light of what's happening in Michigan right now.
Is our board percentage the threshold 8 or 10? Because in the paperwork it said 10. You said 8.
It's 10.
It is 10.
It's 10.
In our board policy, I'll just make sure, but
I thought it was 10, but
okay.
I've seen it a couple places too. So, but either way, we're at 30.
Gold standard 10, bare minimum
Right.
8, but we're going to check the policy to make
Either
sure.
way, we're at 30%. We're not close. So
Yeah.
we're not even close.
But thank you, and we will make sure we clarify that. I have the number 8 in my head.
And, yeah, and I don't know. For some reason, 10's sticking out to me, and I don't know why. So I'll look too, so I know. I don't know why that's hanging in my head.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you all.
Moving on to our second public comment. Do we have any public comments? Thank you. That brings us to new business. I will entertain a motion for A, the tentative agreement between BCPS and Battle Creek Education Secretaries. Yes, Trustee Johnson?
I move to approve the tentative agreement between Battle Creek Public Schools and Battle Creek Education Secretaries.
It's been moved by Trustee Johnson, supported by Trustee Hayden. Any discussion? Hearing none, can we take a roll call vote, please? No, you're fine. Do we even need one? I thought we would because it's yeah. There you go.
Okay. Nathan Graycheck. Art McClinney.
Yes.
Dr. Nicole Fury. Kate Flores.
Yes.
Alicia Hayden. Yes. Dr. Alicia Johnson.
Yes.
Dr. Fulbright.
Yes. Motion passes. That brings us to superintendent comments.
I'm going to first admit that I was wrong.
What?
It is 10%.
Can we have that put in the board note?
In the minutes. It is 10% in the policy, so we raised that. First, I want to congratulate our graduates from W.K. Kellogg Preparatory, whose graduation will take place this Wednesday, May 20th at 6 p.m. at the W.K. Auditorium. We're incredibly proud of all that they've accomplished, and I look forward to really celebrating them as they walk across the stage, and I hope many of our board members, if not all, will be there with us on Wednesday. I also want to invite the community to our Senior Honors Night. That's going to take place this Thursday, May 21st at 5:30. It is also in the WK Kellogg Auditorium. It's a wonderful opportunity to celebrate the achievements of our graduating seniors. At Senior Honors Night, they receive their cords and all of the things from the clubs and extracurricular activities that they've been in addition to receiving some scholarships as well as a part of that evening. And next, I'm thrilled to announce that on May 27th, Battle Creek Public Schools will host its first ever Superintendent's Reading Super Bowl. And so Battle of the Books is something that has been on my wish list for a while, and we were finally able to put that in play. And so each of our schools that have 4th and 5th graders had teams that read a selection of the superintendent's reading list. They battled it out at their individual schools. I think Fremont's is this week. And Verona. I had an opportunity to visit with Valley View, and Jay's was last week. So the winners from each of those schools get to come to a competition with me that will take place on May 27th at Northwestern in the Northwestern Auditorium. And then finally, I encourage all of our families to check in with their individual schools for more information on all of the end of year events that are happening, because there are great things taking place across our district. So, thank you.
Thank you. Board member comments. Trustee McClenny?
Graduation date is
May 29th.
29th, thank you, I had to get that out there. Next week, yes. I just wanted to report back, prom went off really well, got a lot of great feedback. If you hadn't had a chance, there is a nice video by Christina. If we can get a copy of it and put it on our site. It starts from her day, and she just documents the whole day through prom. A lot of the kids were like, this is the best prom ever. If you haven't had a chance, you got to see that video. It's really nice. It'd be nice to put it up on our site. That's it.
Okay, well, I have some. For the board members, August 7th through August 9th is the MASB Summer Institute, and it's going to be in Kalamazoo at the Radisson, so right next door. So if you want to go to their website, you can check out all the different CBA courses that they offer, but that's a few months away, so I wanted to give you guys a heads up. I'm also looking forward to the WK Prep graduation on Wednesday, as well as next Friday, the Battle Creek Central graduation. And I did want to, I know a week from today is Memorial Day, so I wanted to just say that today and always we remember and honor the fallen heroes who gave their lives for our country. And with that being said, great things are happening in Battle Creek Public.
Can I make one last one? Great things are happening, but adult ed graduate. I just want to remind the community that adult ed graduation is next Monday, May 25th.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, apologies.
Next Tuesday, May 26th at 6 p.m.
There you go. That's the one. Sorry.
Where's that at?
WK Auditorium as well.
Anything else, Jose?
Say that one more time.
Put it on your calendar, Dr.
She's putting it on your calendar, but next Tuesday. So, yeah, 6 p.m. It's not on my calendar. That's why I missed it. Apologies. Sorry.
Okay.
It was
Great things are happening in Battle Creek Public Schools. Meeting adjourned.
Sorry, guys.